Specialisterne, after 5 years, I sold Specialisterne for what is like 25 Singapore cents to a not-for-profit foundation called Specialist People Foundation. I'm the founder, I'm the chairman. I don't own anything anymore. That's what I've learned. If you want to make an impact in society, locally in Denmark and globally, then you have to let go. You have to believe so much in your vision. You have to engage people instead of trying to control everything. So today we work for a lot of many well-known companies. Like these are some companies that we have or are still working for: Microsoft, Cisco, Nokia, Deloitte, Siemens are probably the most well-known international companies. We have a lot of good cooperations with big companies as well in internships programs where we bring our candidates to the companies so that they can try how it is to be in a mainstream company. And IBM is one of our good partners in Denmark for internships. And IBM just hired 2 of our candidates going through the assessment program. And I'm really happy for that. That's what we want. We want the big corporate to be interested in getting access to the same resources as we can in the specialist environment. I'd like to show a video so you can see how it is.
The stigma of autism in the workplace is a tough challenge, but one man's efforts in Denmark have been so successful he's bringing his ideas here to Britain.
He was inspired by his own son, and the computer company boss has now devised a system that helps autistic workers find job security. Jane Draper has been to Copenhagen to meet him.
Focus and persistence have made Søren Jungholm a champion weightlifter. Those qualities are part of his mild form of autism. The condition makes it hard for him to shine at job interviews, though, and unemployment drove him to despair.
I was getting to job interviews, but I was never the chosen one. So I get my self-confidence got lower and lower all the time.
Søren is now relaxed in a job that he loves. It's detailed work, testing computer software.
Hi, son. Hi.
His boss knows he needs a fixed routine.
I have to predict 90% of my working day before I meet in the morning. Then I get very easily stressed, so I need to know what's going to happen. That's very important.
This little boy is the inspiration behind the company. He's the autistic son of Thorkil Sonne, who's since helped dozens of people into work. Now he wants to start a branch in Glasgow to expand his mission.
It's magic. Also when I receive mails from parents almost saying that they do not recognize their son anymore after he started working for us, because suddenly his life has become so positive and meaningful.
These models are used by workers with autism to help express their technical skills. They may not have had that chance before. Across Europe, most people with autism don't have jobs, and yet they say work is the one thing that would really help improve their lives. Top companies have been hiring the autistic workers and paying market rates, though executives recognise these staff need special support.
You need to have somebody in some way taking care of them, because if you're not in some way taking care, they will not go down and eat lunch, for example.
The Danish experience shows people with autism can lead fulfilling lives. The challenge now is to replicate this success in the UK. Jane Draper, BBC News, Copenhagen.
Well, we're joined now by Amanda Batten, Head of Policy and Campaigns for...
So that was Søren. Just imagine how many are there out there like Søren, who is very well qualified, but who needs to predict 90% of his tasks before he goes to work. Not very many companies are aware of that, but there are so many people out there who could be so valuable for the corporate sector, giving the understanding, giving a comfort zone so they can excel. I've been contacted by people from 60 countries who wants me to start up doing something similar together with them in their community. So I set up on a vision to make societies globally respect and accommodate specialist people as worthy and valuable citizens. I've decided on a goal to enable 1 million jobs for specialist people. That's a big goal in Denmark. So I have to go global in order to fulfill that goal. The way we want to do it is to make specialist people feel wanted and help them excel in the right roles in the labor market. And we want to do it in a way based on values like respect, accommodation, accessibility, and clarity. The strategy is to build up an organizational capacity. Right now we are 4 people. That makes 250,000 jobs for each of the employees. We need to build up that organization in order to support the rollout. We want to establish specialists and licensees in all countries in the world as a showcase, because if you want to make a change, you have to walk the talk. You have to set up examples, showcases that will make it attractive for others to learn from our experience and use our knowledge. Where we go from thousands to the million will be if we can make the corporate sector, the Cisco, the IBMs, the Microsoft, the banks, the telecommunication companies, all big companies interested in achieving learning from our experience, being certified in our management model, and then start mainstreaming employment of specialist people. Not just on standard terms. You need to accommodate, you need to meet them halfway, to learn to build up their comfort zone, then you'll be rewarded. So we want to mainstream, so one day we don't need to put up any more specialisten licenses because our knowledge, our concept have been adopted by the labor market and all the players, not just the businesses, but also authorities, universities, schools. There are so many parts of this community. There are so many stakeholders who can benefit and who should contribute to this movement we have started here. My role as a chairman and founder is to build up the international community. That's why I'm here today. That's where I go around in at many conferences together with Ashoka. I'm going next week to Boston, in the US, to take part in lessons at the Harvard Business School, where specialisten is a case study. I'm really proud of that. We're getting into the veins of the corporate sector here. So I'll take part in lessons where maybe 60 to 80 top talents from big international companies will come and discuss specialisterne. And I'll follow up, and if they're interested, then I'll be there and discuss with them how can we work together on this. Because I cannot do much alone, but if I can get stakeholders on board, then we can rock this world together. We have launched the specialisterne concept in Scotland and Iceland, and we are in the planning phase for Poland, Germany, and Ireland, and there are very many other countries who have shown a big interest. You'll notice Singapore is on my list here, and Brian Tan, where are you? Here, from the YMCA, went to Copenhagen in May to take part in a knowledge share conference, a specialist people conference, and has taken on the role as being a coordinator in the early phase of trying to get some planning started for a potential specialist on an entity here in Singapore. We know that people with autism are about the same in Denmark as in Singapore. We know that the market needs are about the same, thanks to the globalization. We know that the social welfare system differs, but I don't think we could find a better place to have the first Asian replication than in Singapore. I don't think Denmark and Singapore is that different. And then we need to find out what kind of organizational setup will be suited for the specialist and the licensee here in Singapore. And I think we can add a lot of value, because just as for Denmark, I think Singapore has a challenge seen from the business perspective. When everything can be copied cheaper somewhere in the world, what do you do for living? What is your role in the global market economy? And there's a shift in value. The last century, with the industry value creation, where fitting in was all important. You needed employees who fit in. There was a production line, and you should be able to replace people to make the production line function. But this century that's all about innovation-based value creation. It's a knowledge-based market economy, and it's all about not fitting in, because as for Denmark, as for Singapore, our role in the global market economy should be to be the innovator. When everything can be copied cheaper somewhere in the world, you have to be the ones best at innovation. And guess where you can find a lot of employees who are the ones who do not fit in? That's among the specialist people. Innovation does not come from the center of mainstream. It comes from the edges of mainstream. So I think that if the stakeholders here in Singapore and in the world want to work together with us, it can be a major improvement of your capabilities to be ahead in the market economy in a knowledge-based global market. So let's work together to make the Singapore society respect and accommodate specialist people as worthy and valuable citizens, so we can turn the perception of the people who do not fit in from a weed perspective into a herd perspective, where there will be winners all over the place, the individuals, the society, and the corporate community. We are not asking the corporate sector to involve themselves out of pity, out of CSR. We have something that I think will be very attractive to the corporate sector. We think we can help the corporate sector getting access to a huge untapped pool of resources. A lot of people who do not fit in, who may be the employees you need in order to be the innovators in this economy. Thank you.